Hey YouTube, it's beer time. It's Jay here with another beer review for you. So as promised, my next beer review is going to be a Yards Brew. I just bought a Yards case, and we just did the extra special ale, which I said was Yards' first brew. And I believe this beer, which is Yards Brawler, Puglist Style Ale. You can see a nice picture of an old-timey boxer fighting the devil. It's a good one. But I believe this is a more recent brew from them. It is what's considered their session beer, which, for those of you who don't know what session beer means, it's basically a beer that you can drink several beers. The alcohol by volume is usually on the lower end of the spectrum and allows you to drink a few, and they're not really weighty. They're not really, they're not too much. They're just kind of simple sipping beers. And I believe this one fits the description pretty well. So the bottle has a couple of things on it. There's a little message on the side about Yards Brewery, which I'll read to you. This is on all their beers. It says, "When we first got into brewing, it was just to make beer for ourselves. Friends liked it, so we made more. As our circle of friends has grown, so has our line of handcrafted ales. We're proud of each and every one we brew. We hope you and your friends enjoy them as much as we do. Yards Brewing Company." On the upper part here, it has crafted in the style of an English session ale. This malt forward, ruby colored ale is great for when you want to go a few rounds. Alcohol 4.2% by volume. So, as I said, on the low end of the spectrum. So, I've had this beer many times, and it's one of, it's funny because I haven't had it in a while. And because since I've been doing these reviews and I've been thinking about beer more in terms of ingredients and how it's brewed and everything, I'm starting to actually revisit some of these beers that I had some years back, for at least the last couple of years, as being my favorite beers, and suddenly I have them again. And after I've had these other more complex, more interesting beers, sometimes I'm actually finding that I'm not as much of a fan as I was before. So we'll see what happens here, because this is the first time I'm having it in several months. But it's everywhere in Philly. It's on tap a lot. You see it very often. It's definitely become probably Yard's. I don't know. For a while, it was Yard's most popular brew, and I remember seeing it everywhere. Everywhere you went, if there was Yards, it was Brawler. But I think Philadelphia Pale Ale is really starting to make a comeback as far as being on tap. Um, so I still think the Philadelphia Pale Ale is probably their best beer that they brew, just all around. I know they have beers that taste better. The Love Stout's amazing, but I just feel like as just a solid beer, Philly Pale Ale is probably their best. But Brawler was very popular for a while, and it's kind of, I guess I haven't seen it around as much. Maybe it's just that it's cycling out or whatever, but maybe that's a testament to the fact that people are getting sick of it. Who knows? Beer Advocate, the Bros rate this beer a 90, which is outstanding, and the field rates it 83. So there's quite a large swing there between the Bros and the field, which you don't really see very often. Most of the times they're pretty close, but interesting. Oof. Couldn't get that top off. So again, still dealing with a cold here, so nose is a little underpowered. So we'll see. Malt. Malty. Yeah, very, yeah, I mean, it's very malt forward, obviously, as advertised. So there's nothing that you should really, you should really be surprised with there. Okay, nice pour. Decent head. Definitely ruby in color, as they said. So far, so good as far as the. Yeah, it's very malt forward. Again, when you're drinking it on tap sometimes with friends, you don't sit here and actually like break down each part of the beer. Drink it slowly enough to get all the flavors out there. Um, but definitely, you know, yeah. Again, nose is underpowered, but I'm definitely getting the malt, the grains, almost a nutty type of aroma. So yeah, let's taste it. Well, it's very mild in its flavor. Aftertaste goes away almost instantaneously. Very low hop factor. um, it's a very smooth drinking beer. The malts are definitely up there. You get a fizz feeling in the mouth with the carbonation. It's a little high on carbonation. Tongue burn, very light, lending to the fact that it's it's a low alcohol by volume. I'm sure. So it's a pretty again, the advertising of this beer is that it's a session beer. So it's supposed to be a beer that you can have a few of them and they don't kill you, they don't get you drunk. Um, they're just nice, simple beers, and that's what this is. That's what this is. Um, I'm just trying to determine whether or not I how I would rate it in terms of their other beers. Um, one of Yard's hallmarks is that they brew complex ales. They take the ale and they really they perfect it, I guess, in a way. Um, the ESA, the Philadelphia Pale Ale, um, some of the things that I've had from the Ales of the Revolution that they brew, um, which I have to get to those, especially the Thomas Jefferson. I love that beer, but this one is made so that people who are not as much of I guess they're trying to cater to a different audience, if that makes sense. They're trying to simplify the process so that somebody who's just kind of like a casual beer drinker who just wants to have a beer that they can trust, this is it. So I think it does the job in that respect. However, I think that there are many beers that they have that are way better. Way better. So I'm going to go ahead. And as far as the hop factor goes, like I said, hop factor is very low. So I'll give this a hop factor of 4. It's not so low as to be like not there, but it's on the low end of the spectrum. Um, I've had beers that are much lower in hop factor, so 4 I think is a good rating for that. And as far as the overall rating of the beer, I'm going to go ahead and rate it 3.5 stars out of 5. It's solid. It's a good beer. It's good drinking beer, good sipping beer. But I feel like if you're looking for something that just kind of knocks you out a little bit more, not knocks you out literally. I'm saying like, wow, this is a really good beer. This doesn't really do that. It's you kind of drink it and it's like, oh, it's simple, okay, and going out and with some friends and you want to have a few beers, that's good. It's a good thing for that. But I think there are better options out there, especially from Yards. So that's it for this beer. Next up, I will probably be doing the IPA, the Yards India Pale Ale. Um, and from all respects, and I've read about on Beer Advocate, it rates pretty highly. So I'm actually looking forward to trying this IPA because I've always avoided it like the plague. And I actually bought the case and I saw it had 6 IPAs in it, and I was like 6 of them. But I actually thought to myself, you know what? I think I might actually like this one. So next up will be Yard's IPA. Hope you enjoyed, and we'll talk to you later. Thanks for watching, as usual.